She replied in Bahasa Malaysia the word "Saya mau mati, saya mau mati." So I was shocked that
We came back to railway stations, held back all traffic, informed the police and my railway officers about what has happened.
We received news from the railway staffs that my father had passed away. We were shocked and sad.
I am Jit Singh, alias Sarjit Singh, son of Inder Singh. I was born in KL in 1939. We shifted over to Kampa just before the Japanese occupation in 1941. I had my education at Anglo-Chinese School Kampa from 1945 to 1956. And after leaving my school, I joined the railways in 1957 as a clerk at Kampa railway station. I was transferred to KL in 1958, where I served in various railway stations, various railway officers in KL and around Malaysia. And I got my promotion when I was in Kampa last again, when I came for my second term in Kampa. I got my promotion from Kampa in 1984. During my term of service in KL and around, I worked in various railway stations in Pahang, in Johor, in Negeri Sembilan, and in Perak. I worked as a train controller from 1984 to 1995 when I retired. And after my retirement, I came back to Kampa. I cannot forget one incident which happened when I was a station master there. Unknown persons had planted explosives onto the railway track between Timor and Kampa. I got a report of this from also an unknown person who just mentioned it and went off. We went to the spot with my staff and examined the place and found that actually there was something which looked like explosives. We came back to railway stations, held back all traffic, informed the police and my railway officers about what has happened. The police went to the spot and confirmed, and they called in the Taiping bomb squad to defuse the explosives. The explosives were diffused late in the afternoon, causing a lot of delay to passenger and goods trains. During my service in the railways, I was also active in the Railwaymen's Union of Malaya. I was a delegate for the clerical section, and later on I was a member of the executive committee, and my last highest appointment was a member of the Central Working Committee Railways.
My name is Narinderjit Kaur. I'm the daughter of late Miss Ajab Singh. I'm the second of 5 brothers and sisters. My late father was working as a locomotive driver, and on the 23rd of April 1968, he was killed at Malayan Railway Station, Johor. We were staying at the railway quarters in Bangsa, KL. On the 23rd April, we received news from the railway staffs that my father had passed away. We were shocked and sad. My grandfather had requested to send my father's body back to Falim quarters for cremation. So we rushed back to Ipoh for the cremation at Wadagodwara crematorium. My father was a very nice and respected person. My grandmother used to share stories about my father. My grandmother used to share that the late Sultan of Kelantan was very fond of my father, and he always requested my father to drive the train whenever the Sultan wants to ride the train.
My name is Sarjit Singh, son of Colonel Singh Chahal. I joined the Malayan Railways the year 1965 December as a locomotive assistant. After going to training at the Railway Training Academy in KL, Jalan Travers and in Sentul, I was transferred to the East Coast in the town named Tumpat to serve there. So I was a compound locomotive driver in Tumpat, and I was given an opportunity to drive local trains first. Then the most precious train in the East Coast is a golden blow pipe. So I had an opportunity of driving the golden blow pipe between Tumpat to Kolipis and back to Tumpat. Then after that I was transferred to KL. I had the opportunity to drive the Express Rayat and all that. So while in the year 95, somewhere in the middle, somewhere in April or so, I drove the night express train from Ipoh to KL, and I had a mishap between Singapore to Kepong, or KL they call it. I was diverted to the wrong track, and I stopped in time and saved thing. Then we are back to Singapore and given right away on the right track back to KL. For that, the railways had given me a letter of accommodation for my good job. So after that, I retired in 2000 September. I retired from the railways and was re-employed for 1 year till 2002 January. During my period in the Malayan Railways, I was also a hockey player and a cricketer. I played hockey for the clubs and a bit of for the railway team. But cricket, I represented all Malayan Railways in the Government Services League. And after some years later, I said, no, it's getting a bit old for games. I decided to take up umpiring. I took up umpiring. I became a first-class cricket umpire, grade 1 cricket umpire of Malaya.
My name is Manjit Singh, son of Nahar Singh. I served the Malayan Railways. I joined the Malayan Railways as a locomotive assistant, and then I went for my training for locomotive driver in Sentul, and I became a locomotive driver in 1980. After working for a few years as a locomotive driver, I was promoted to a locomotive underforeman, where I was doing rostering of locomotive drivers and administration work. I've got the license to drive locomotives from class 17 to class 25. So whenever we get a new locomotive, we go for training to get a license for that particular locomotive. So this is how our training is, and we go on like this. Whenever a new locomotive comes, we go for the training. All through while driving, we come across many unforeseen circumstances where we experience knocking down people, trespassers, and also people who some of them who commit suicide. So there was one incident where a girl was running towards my train. I saw her running. I applied the brakes of the locomotive and whistled and managed to stop my train. And then I got down from my locomotive and went up to the girl and asked her, "Why are you doing this?" So she didn't answer, but after that she replied in Bahasa Malaysia the word, "Saya mau mati, saya mau mati." So I was shocked that she said. Then I advised her in a very polite way that this is not the way to do this thing, and you should not do this thing. And in the meantime, two men came up and told me that she is having some problem, and they took her away. And after that, I went back to my locomotive and proceed with the journey. And these are some of the incidences which we come across. We don't feel nice when we knock down people. So these are some of my experiences as a locomotive driver. All these years I drove most types of trains goods trains, express trains, and Orient Express. I drove all these trains throughout my service as a locomotive driver. Driving locomotive is a very highly responsible job where safety is priority. That is why until today I'm still very cautious about driving. I served the railways for 31 years, and in my 31 years, these are some of my experiences which I'm sharing with you.